All right, good morning, Coach Loepp. We'll
Good morning.
get started with questions if you're ready.
I guess as ready as I'll be.
All right. JJ, get us started.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Doing good, brother. Just got off the practice field. Thought we had a pretty good practice, so pretty excited.
Thanks for joining us today. What were some of your biggest takeaways from this past week?
Uh, that our kids are unbelievable. That's probably the biggest takeaway, that we have a great staff, that Coach Traylor has established a culture here that we all truly believe in. Man, our kids play hard. They play physical, and it's a lot of fun to watch. Man, it's a lot of fun to watch. That's probably my biggest takeaway. We have great kids that play hard and play physical.
What does it say about the players to be able to go through, that adversity without having Coach Nix and you just stepping in? What does it say about the group of kids you have?
I think number one, like I said earlier, that we got some great young men, but I do think it all goes back to really the number one thing is Coach Traylor has done an unbelievable job of establishing a culture, not only with our kids but our staff, and we talk about our culture daily. We have a culture pillar every week that we talk about daily, and it's over and over. And we've talked about mental toughness, I bet, for 4 different weeks, over and over every day. And so, to me, that's been the biggest thing, that our kids believe in us. They believe in Coach Traylor. They believe in this culture. And because of that belief, I think they just kind of, have the mindset that, hey, man, whatever happens, we're just going to roll out there, go have some fun, hit some people, and run hard to the ball.
Okay, Greg.
Coach, what was the period like from finding out Friday night that you'd be calling the game to the start of the game Saturday? What did you guys have to do in that period, or how did that window play out?
It wasn't that big of a deal. It's kind of that next man up mentality. Our staff, I got everybody together and we sat and talked about it. And we said, hey, man, let's just keep things the same. Just go out there and do what we do, and let our kids know. We all know the game plan. Let's just call the game, have fun, and let those guys play free. We don't need to act any nervous or tense or that we're not sure what's going on, man. We're going to be confident, because I promise you this, our kids will play confident, and that's what they did. But it was a little bit crazy, but shoot, man, the staff, the belief we have in each other and the belief we have in these kids, it makes it a lot easier.
What was your previous experience level with play calling? How much have you done that in your career?
Oh, shoot. I've coached high school ball for 2 different years. I was an assistant coach there. But the DC where I've worked has allowed me to kind of do a little bit. And then in different staffs I've been on in the spring, sometimes in the spring, the DC is kind of, hey, Jess, why don't you call a little bit of it, just kind of get a feel for it. So I've done a little bit of that, nothing crazy, nothing like that I did. But like I said, when you have a staff that we have that all believe in each other and the kids that we have, it really just don't mess it up. Really, that's I went in going, just don't mess it up. Let these old kids play hard.
So when you watched it back on film, how did you feel about how you called the game, or your performance in a general sense?
Oh, shoot, it was okay. There's some things out there that you would have liked to maybe been a little better on. I was probably pretty conservative at first, just because, like I said, I just didn't want to mess anything up, let our kids play. But it's a learning experience. It was fun. I enjoyed it, and shoot, just if I get another opportunity this week, then I'll be excited and see what happens.
Did you try to think about, what would Coach Nix call here, or did you sort of want to put your own stamp on it and just call it from your own perspective?
No, our staff as a defense, we do a great job of game planning together. We have from the start of the season till now. So really, it's all of us together, kind of joining in, and it was probably more that we had more voices in my ear talking about, hey, if we see this, man, well, let's think about this. So it was really a staff effort. It really was. Nobody tried to put any kind of spin on it. And that was my number one thing I told the staff when we met. I said, listen, this isn't about any of us. It's about our team. It's about our staff together. It's about our players. Let's not let anybody try to, go after the limelight or make it about them. And I think we did a great job of that.
Did you think the defense overall kind of looked the same as it's looked every other week, or were there some differences you noticed because of the change?
No, it looked to me, it looked like we always look. We played a little bit sluggish at times, didn't play well the whole game, but for the most part, our kids played hard and were physical. So, I think it looked pretty much the same. I really do.
We've talked a lot about game day, but how about through the week? Like, how is the game planning process now this week different with Coach Nick's not there? Kind of who does more, or how does that all shake out?
Like I said earlier, there wasn't a lot of difference just because we've all been involved in the game planning from the beginning of the year. Coach Wright, he does a great job with the run game. Coach Graham, he does a great job with the passing game. I work on a lot of third down and red zone stuff. Coach Brown, who's got moved on, Zach Brown, who unbelievable young coach, smart, sharp, does a great job. We're excited that he was able to, move up this week. He does a great job with, formation stuff. And then we have all the other coaches, both Coach Williams, Sarge, he does a good job with the running backs, scouting the running backs. Coach Williams, Jarvion Williams, who played here, probably should have him look at running backs too, maybe. But he does a good job of looking at the receivers. Then you got Coach Rhodes, who does a good job of looking. Coach Rhodes and Coach Drago really do a great job of scouting the offensive line and the tight end. So it's just kind of all of us working together and putting our thoughts on the board and coming up with a plan that we believe will give our kids the best chance to be successful.
You mentioned a lot of input and a lot of communication. Is there anything you guys want to change about like the workflow or how that communication works compared to last week, or were you really happy with everything?
No, I think we're pretty happy with everything, and we've been happy all year, and we're just doing the best we can to maintain what we've been doing. I think we played good defense. I still believe, I think our staff still believes that our best defense is still ahead of us. We still believe we haven't quite played our best game. And so we keep striving for that. And I think the more consistency we can have with our group and with each other, the better we continue to be.
Obviously, the circumstances aren't ideal, but what does it mean for you in your career to have an opportunity to call the plays? Has this been kind of a special week or two for you?
I'd be lying if I told you no. But really, Greg, I'm trying to do the best I can to make it about our staff and our team, because that's what it truly is. And there's been some people who have called me and said stuff, and I've been like, I didn't do anything different, but I was the final voice. That's really it. We have so many guys. Like I said, I mentioned all those coaches that are able to provide unbelievable input. That really, it's just I'm the last voice that they hear, and I'm just leaning on them as much as they lean on me.
Hey, JJ.
Coach, where did you call the game from? The sidelines or the press box?
I was in the press box. That was something we discussed. I know if I ever have an opportunity, in the future somewhere or wherever, being on the field would probably be pretty important to me. But we wanted to do the best we could to keep everything the same. I think it was important for our kids to see that. It was important for our staff to feel like we're all still doing what we do on game day. So we tried to do the best we could to keep it the same. So that's what we're going to continue to do as long as we have to do it.
What can you tell us about Southern Miss? Are you guys preparing for two quarterbacks?
We kind of are a little bit. Both quarterbacks are athletic. Both quarterbacks throw the ball well, so I don't think there's a lot of difference. I think maybe one feels like he has a little bit more experience, maybe a little bit more understanding of the offense. But they both are good athletes. I think the offensive line is big. One of the bigger offensive lines we'll see. They're physical, big, and we got to do a good job of trying to establish the line of scrimmage to try to make sure that we play on their side of the line of scrimmage and not ours. Receiver-wise, they might be one of the better receiver groups that we've seen. Number 5, number 17. Sorry, I don't have the names. I've always been in my career a number guy. But number 5 and number 17, man, those guys can play. And then 0 as well. They've got some good receivers. And then running back-wise, they've got running backs that run hard. They run hard, and they're tough to tackle. And I'm telling you, they're Southern Miss. and Southern Miss, they've got some talent, and so they've got a lot of ability. We're gonna have to play our A game for sure.
Okay, Greg, you want to wrap us up?
Yeah, so we've seen in the last few weeks the defense has seemingly come on pretty strong in the second half. It's become sort of a trend for you guys. What's been the key to that, or how have you guys managed to make that leap each halftime?
If I knew the answer, I would somehow try to use that to play better in the first half. I think our kids, number one, I'd say I got to give a lot of credit to Philo, our strength coach, who just had a brand new little baby a couple of days ago. But he has done a great job of getting our kids in shape. So I think our kids, I think the longer the game goes, the better they are, just because they're in great shape. And I think they just have a lot of confidence in what they do. And to be honest with you, like I said, we try to hang our hat on being more physical and playing harder. And I think if you can be more physical and you can play harder, I think other people will wear down. And that's kind of where we maybe will continue to thrive and be great later on, because we continue to play hard and play physical. And we've got a lot of kids in a lot of play areas that also we kind of sub guys in. We've got kids I've got 4 safeties. I can talk about them personally. I've got 4 safeties that all play a lot. And so we try to keep them fresh as well.
How do you guys handle like halftime adjustments? What kind of stuff do you give the players or tweak to maybe help them have that better performance coming out of the break?
Sure. There's little things. If there's something that's given us a problem, we all put our heads together and, we'll try to maybe tweak something a little bit. Last week, we kind of tweaked a couple little pressures and then just challenged our guys that we just got to tackle better. That was the big adjustment. We tweaked a couple pressures and we got to tackle better. And so we just try to do a good job as a staff. And that's how it's been all year. Again, I cannot give enough credit to Coach Wright and Coach Graham, both Coach Williams, Coach Brown, Coach Drago and Coach Rhodes for just all coming together and doing the best we can to make sure we give our kids the best chance possible to be successful. And a lot of that's at halftime as well.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you guys very much, Greg. Thank you, JJ.
Thanks, Coach Loepp.
Thanks, Coach.
We'll see if Coach Lunney's been able to retrieve his phone. All right, Coach Lunney.
Hey.
If you're ready, we'll get started with questions.
I'm ready.
JJ?
I guess the big question this week is, how did you guys go from 3 points to 50 points and 600 yards.
I thought you were going to ask me the big question is how I could get locked out of my office. That's why defense went first today. That's why we deferred to the second half here on offense, because I got locked out of my office. So that, to me, that's the bigger mystery, to be honest with you, than it is the offense. Well, obviously we did respond, and I think the week off helped us. It's easy to say this. We said this after the FAU game. FAU's got a very good defense. But we certainly left some opportunities we could have easily had 14 or 17 points at halftime of that game. And that's no disrespect to them. We didn't get it done. We had opportunities that we didn't capitalize on. And if you do that, the whole second half could have been a different story, but the bottom line is what you're inferring or saying is that we broke through. We had a breakthrough game, and it's going to be really critical how we respond to that. And we really challenge them that, because we certainly did not play perfect by any imagination, but a lot of our players really stepped up. They played very well. They made plays, and we need to use that as a springboard to play better. And I've told our guys this. That doesn't mean statistically I'm not concerned about that. Just to play better, to get better, to put a step forward. Whatever that looks like takes a different shape each week, as we all know. But nonetheless, we were proud to be a part of what we did. The players deserved a game like that and worked hard to have a game like that, and that was fun.
Did I see a play where you had a tight end lined up at tackle, and the tackle kind of out wide, and then there was a misdirection play down at the goal line? Were you more creative this week, or was that just something that just how it worked out with as far as calling the plays?
Well, yeah, those are. We have a certain set of plays that, that we've kind of carried for a long time that's been incubating, so to speak. And we broke them out of their shell, I guess, during the game the other day. And we've done some other ones that have not, obviously the timing of those calls and the execution is really what it comes down to. And we've pulled the trigger on some other ones that have not gone as well. We had one against La Tech on 4th down where, Julon Williams caught a ball and threw it back to Frank. They got us a first down. And so we just feel like that there's a certain level, certain element of those that you always need to carry. It's the timing of when you call them and the way they're executed. We've been practicing the one with Oscar really since the inception of fall camp, and just felt like it was the perfect time to break it out. It was well executed, and it was a well done play.
Hey, Greg.
Yeah, Barry, I was going to ask about that play. That was was that like an original concept for you, or did you pick that up somewhere? How do you develop that?
Which one are we talking about, Greg?
Sorry, the one with Oscar, the play.
Yeah, that's something that's been around for a while. I've run it before in my past. There's a lot of people that have run that. So that was not a, proprietary play. We actually ran that same play a few years ago when I was at Arkansas. I think against A&M, it was a little bit different. We got a left-handed quarterback, so you put your own little spin on things. But the general idea I had gotten from my time there. But it's been something, a lot of people run it and just have their own spin on it. And fortunate for us, when we ran it, it worked well. They didn't recognize it till too late. We got, I think, a 15 or 18-yard gain out of it.
Is there a certain period in practice each week where you work on those like gadget plays or whatever you want to call it, something you might pull out this week?
Yeah, we do. We've set aside some time during the course of the week to, really in fall camp early on, we tried to embrace a few of those, and we have a few. I'm looking at our board. We always have a few that are available and ready, and you try to, use them at the right time. But yeah, we practice them and polish them, and then there's sometimes we introduce one during the week, and it might not be quite game ready, and then we kind of declare, is it game ready or not as a staff, and we watch us execute it, say, yeah, that one's ready. And then if it is, and if it presents itself, then we're going to call it.
Do the players really enjoy having that stuff mixed in? Is that's like the funner element for them that provides a little bit of a spark?
I think so. And we try to have some fun with the way we name things too. And I think certainly they do. And especially when they work, that's what players and coaches like. They like plays that work. So whether it's a mundane handoff or a double reverse pass, we like the ones that work the best. And so but it does make it more fun when you have a little extra spice on it and it works and you score, get a big first down. I think the players like that.
How about Frank Harris's play overall Saturday? How did you evaluate what he brought to the table for you guys?
Well, I mean, it was pretty well. It was pretty good performance. He played very well for us, among others. But it was, I think his finest performance. There were some indicators there, leading up to the week that he had, we had a really good day on Wednesday and Thursday, and our guys really made a lot of plays for him. And but from start to finish, it was a really good performance.
Yeah, had you seen a big difference in practice? Jeff mentioned both like passing accuracy had been better, and even just how hard Frank was working had been a big difference. Had you seen that through the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, I think so. And subtly, I mean, he's a great man. He's got great energy and attention to detail when it comes to practice. He really likes practice. He understands the importance of practice, and every rep matters. And that's an infectious attitude that, I just think you see a guy, and you see guys at all positions, I think, that are starting to get comfortable with what we're doing and understand better what we're doing each week. And, hopefully that'll continue to show up down the stretch.
One thing Frank said that was really interesting was that you'd kind of given him the keys to the offense, was his term, as the years gone on. How has his sort of freedom to make checks or adjustments expanded as time goes on?
Well, I'm just a big believer that, in college football, and just the volume of plays that you have, and the, defenses that you have to go against, and you're playing with tempo, that I think my belief is the more that you can take off the quarterback, the better they can play, as far as, not having to control every protection and every, run check and all this stuff that can bog a guy down. There's some guys that don't believe that, and they've certainly have had a lot of success coaching that way. But my personal belief, after playing the position, that the more you can keep off their plate, the faster they can play and the freer they can play. But there's got to be a balance there. There's some things that a quarterback's got to be able to do to get you right. If you made a call that maybe not the ideal look. And so we've certainly given Frank some more freedom here these last few weeks, and we'll continue to do so to help him, play his best.
How does that progress? What are the next steps or other things he can kind of pick up or add to be able to do more in that way?
Yeah, I'd say it's probably more checks, more changing of the routes, changing the protection when need be, just little subtle things that, when you look back to the sideline, you don't know, the common eye wouldn't know if he's checking, to see if the play's good, or checking, asking a question through nonverbal communication, or whatever it may be. But it's just, I don't think there's any black and white answer to that, Greg, other than just continue to empower him to make those decisions. And it's really important when you get to that point that he sees the game the way I see the game. That doesn't mean I see the game better than him, or, better than somebody else, another coach. It's just, this is how I see the game. This is how our offense is structured. And the more we're with each other, the more we start to think alike. And the more we think alike, the better off that we'll be on being on the same page and give us a better chance to execute.
Has that process been a little bit tougher just because he hasn't taken every snap and he got injured for a little bit and you've had to rotate quarterbacks a little bit? Does that come along a bit slower?
I think it does. Yeah, for sure. Lack of spring ball, and, a little bit of a juggle at the position, like you said, do the various things. And sure. Yeah, I think it does. And I don't think it's hindered it by any means, but it maybe has just slowed down that process of getting to that point where we're in unison and we're in harmony in the way we see and the way I call things. When I call a play, he knows exactly what I'm thinking. And I think we've made some good strides down the stretch here.
How did you feel about the way the offensive line protected him against UTEP, and even the way that group has held up through the season, just with all the shuffling they've had?
Yeah, it's been really impressive to watch. I just think those guys have just kind of taken everything in stride, and we haven't been perfect there, but we've talked about that at length. We don't expect them to be perfect. We expect them to have perfect effort and attitude, and the way they practice. And I think they take a great deal of pride in running the football and protecting our quarterback. And Saturday was a really good performance in that way. The one time our quarterback got hit, it wasn't on them. And but I just think they've gelled, they work. Coach Maddox has done a great job with Coach Gadsden's with Ty Gadsden helping him along, and Kurt Traylor as well some. And when they get together and overlap some. And but I've been really proud of them. And but we need them to play their best Saturday. It'll be another challenge, a difficult defense to prepare for. And each week has its own ebb and flow, and we've got to be ready to roll this week because they present a great challenge for us.
And you're getting Sincere McCormick back this week, well rested after a couple weeks off. And given that it's late in the year, does that change how you approach maybe how many carries you can take in the game or how you want to use him, just because he's probably a little bit fresher and there's not so many weeks ahead?
Yeah, I think he is fresher, and I think that you see the way that Brady's emerged, and we really missed him during the middle part of the year. Those other backs have done a really good job, but we've missed Brady, and what he played in the first game and brought a lot of things to the table in the first game. Got hurt early in the second game and been out for a while, and then he came back and had his best performance, and now they're both back healthy, which will help. They'll help each other, and it'll help our football team, no doubt. I think just having fresher backs in the fourth quarter goes a long way. And we had those on Saturday. I thought, BJ and Kadrick Cobbs both ran very well in the fourth quarter when they were fresh. And so we've got a stable of them back ready to roll here, and we're going to hopefully use them. And it'll be a big challenge for us to run the ball this week. That's important that we try and that we attempt, and that we are successful to a degree on Saturday for us to be successful. And so having them healthy will certainly help that.
And we saw a lot of Oscar Cardenas in this game, a lot more snaps than we're used to seeing from him. What does he bring to the table for you guys?
I tell you, Oscar is really we're really excited about Oscar. He just gets better and better each week, and he's really good at a really good technical player. And as he's learning his way around to play at this level, you just see improvement just week after week. And we wholeheartedly trust Oscar. He's earned and deserved that trust. He earned and deserved that playing time. You earn everything to this game now. I mean, you do. You earn victories and you earn defeats and you earn playing time and you earn not playing. And that's just the way it works. And not just here, but in football in general. And he's certainly earned the opportunity to play, and he's earned the right to be out there, and we'll continue to see that.
Got it. Thank you, Barry.
Okay, thanks, Greg.
Anything else for Coach Lunney?
Thanks, Barry.
All right.
Okay,
Appreciate it.
see you guys.